What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, good people? Welcome, 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 welcome to the latest and greatest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement. And bear with me, guys. I'm going to have to do that intro again. Again. Let's do it again. Welcome, 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 guys, to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host again, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement. Sorry for those of you who had to hear that intro twice. The reason why I had to do it twice, I keep forgetting to turn on Twitch. Keep forgetting to turn on Twitch until the stream starts, so I just started that, so there you have it. Again, guys, trying to expand. I have no viewership on Twitch, but hey, you just keep going, keep producing content, even though I have nothing really to talk about tonight, only one topic. But we're going to keep this thing going. And I'm going to rely on you all, the lovely family, to throw some questions, throw some topics in the chat, and we'll be here for a little bit. But what's happening, guys? Hope everybody is well. Hope you all have had a great weekend, and hope your week has started well. I hope you're doing good out there with all of the chaos going on in the world. I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm still planning to do an independent show where I just talk about life topics. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the best day for me to do that because Wednesdays are now about to be occupied, Wednesday nights. My son is about to start spring AAU. And those practices are Monday and Wednesday. So never get a break, but I don't mind doing that, man, because of him. You know, it's all worth it. But all right, guys, let's get to it. What's happening? Let's say hello to some of the early commenters, and then we'll dive right in, man. Like I said, I only have one topic. Excuse me. Get some water. I'll try to stretch that out a bit and see what you guys have to say in the chat, and then we'll be out of here. And I promise you guys, actually, let me check the date. Let me check the date to make sure my dates are good. I keep forgetting. Kenyon, man, you got to keep me honest. I keep forgetting for us to schedule this steel table, man. We got to make it happen. We definitely got to make it happen very, very quickly. Because Kenyon had kept his eye on some combine things. So I definitely want to get another voice on here, man. So hold me to it, man. If I forget and I just start on Tuesday, hold me to it if you can. Remind me. Hey, Sim, let's get one in. And we'll get one in. Hold on, guys. Let me look at something real quick. Just want to make sure I have these dates correct. Hold on. Just want to get the official date of free agency. When does it start? March 10th. March 10th. So that is next week. Today is the 4th. So next Monday, I believe, is the 10th, right? That would be right. Yes, because yesterday was the 3rd, 7 days from that. And there you have it. So by the time I talk to you guys next Tuesday, maybe we have something to talk about in terms of free agency. But let's say hello, man. Sonny Rothmiller, Mark Cunningham. Hello, the lovely, lovely Lanisha in the building. Fellas, y'all know the routine, man. Lay out the red carpet. Treat our lovely lady listeners with care. Say hello, and you all know what to do. Hello, Lanisha. Good to hear from you, see you, all of the above. 412 born and raised is in the building. Crazy Ron Gaming. Who else is in here, man? 12 gauge Hemi is in the building. Stiller Cards. My good brother Kenyon in the building. Hugs Ladon is in the building. Fill the dreams. I like where you're going with that. Who else we got? Quay Face is in the building. And look at this. Look at this. We have some Wonder Bread. Early Wonder Bread from Victor Asher. Victory Asher. Appreciate that, man. Round of applause to you, brother. Oh, hold on. There we go. Round of applause. He says, do you think the Browns attempt to sign Justin Fields from under the Steelers? I think they will. They can sign Justin without breaking the bank. I don't know. That's a tough one. What do the Browns do with Deshaun Watson in that contract? I mean, it's guaranteed, so I guess, you know, it puts them into a dilemma in terms of egg on your face, but I guess it doesn't really put them in a dilemma monetarily because the money is guaranteed anyway, right? Do they go Justin Fields? I'm not sure about that. I don't know how the Browns value that type of QB. You know, and honestly, I would say that I don't think Justin Fields would like to go to Cleveland. I think one thing that we all could probably hang our hats on is Justin Fields would like to be in Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers should and would be able to offer a deal that will be comparable to anyone else, right, to keep him. I don't think anybody overpays for Justin Fields. You know, a lot of people were saying you kind of look at the same contract that Sam Darnold got, and, you know, and you stretch that out 2 years, and that's right around what some of you guys were saying last week, between 10 to 15 million per 2-year deal. So a lot of you guys were saying, hey, $20 million, 2 years. Some of you guys said, hey, upwards of maybe 25 million for 2 years. That's doable. I don't think any team, you know, I mean, we talking about the Browns who did what they did with Deshaun Watson, but I don't think any team is going to overpay Justin Fields off of a 4-2 winning record with the Steelers. All right, because again, Justin Fields definitely, in my opinion, I think he has some upside. Some other people think he has leveled out and floored out or whatever. I don't know. None of us know. I mean, we can speculate and say he's not going to get any better, but we don't know. I think there's something that you could build on just looking around at some of the other quarterbacks in the league. Again, I'll use Lamar Jackson as an example. No, I'm not comparing them apples to apples, but I definitely remember the Lamar Jackson who came into the league and was just a terror on the ground, and nobody really respected his passing game, and that lasted for quite a long time. And then over the last, I'll say 3 seasons or so, is where he really started being a formidable, like, QB passing the rock. Accuracy continued to improve. Do I think Justin Fields could have something like that as the number one guy, as getting the full attention? I do, because the kid has talent. I do not know how good he will be. I'm not going to sit here and predict that. But I say all that to say, I don't think a team looks at the 4-2 positive record and say, okay, we're going to break the bank. I don't see that. So all in all, I'm saying I think the Pittsburgh Steelers would be able to make a comparable, competitive deal with whatever other team offers Justin Fields. And Justin Fields wants to be in Pittsburgh. At least that's the last thing we heard, that he wants to be there. He likes Coach Tomlin. He asked to come there. So I think the Steelers would have the leg up in terms of getting a deal done versus another team. Just my opinion. And like I said, I don't know if Justin Fields' market is as high as some people would be thinking. So just my opinion. Let's see. Did anybody else got any question real quick before I dive into my one lone topic? Appreciate it again, Victory. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that early Wonder Bread. So, all right, guys, let's get to it, man. I'm probably going to be all over the place with this topic because it's a lofty one. It's in the title. I said it. We all know it. But there's nothing else to talk about ahead of free agency. Next week, we'll have more to talk about. Thank goodness. The Pittsburgh Steelers completely botched their quarterback position, their quarterback situation, whatever you want to call it. They botched it. Yes, I've referenced this in other videos, but I just wanted to, spend a dedicated time on it because you got to look at it from when it started, right? Did they put too much trust in Ben Roethlisberger down the stretch? Reason I say that is most people would look at Bill Belichick over his career with the Patriots, and people would say he always knew when to forego continuing a relationship with the player. He knew when to get rid of them. He knew when to get value from those guys and move on. Yes, him and Tom Brady had a long tenure, but him and Tom Brady also had 6 Super Bowl rings to boot. So you kind of stick that out as long as you can. And then when Tom Brady seemingly got to the point where, like, okay, I guess we can move on. He's nearing the end of his career. He did not retire as a Patriot. He went on to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and lo and behold, they stacked that team up and they got themselves a ring with Tom Brady, right? But my point being, Bill Belichick did move on. He didn't necessarily have a succession plan. I think Jimmy Garoppolo was more than likely his succession plan at the time. And then, we hear rumors of Robert Kraft kind of vetoing that, saying we're not going to choose this kid over Tom. And y'all know how that story went. We don't know the truth, but, supposedly that's what was said. And there was a rift between him and Kraft. But my point being, even they were willing to not re-sign Tom Brady, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers literally rode the wheels until they fell off. And you guys know how I feel about Ben Roethlisberger. Listen, I'm going to always give Ben Roethlisberger love, and he's going to always have a special place in my heart because, like I said, Ben carried that duration of time where I was really focused on the game. Right? Of course, I watched football before that. The Tom Zacks and all of them. And yes, I remember all them bums. The Neil O'Donnell. I remember it, right? And no disrespect to was not Tom Zack, Tommy Maddox. No disrespect to Maddox and guys like that. But I'm just saying, I remember watching some of those QBs, right? And at that time of my life, being a youngster, I wasn't as dedicated to it the way I am now. I wasn't, commenting on it and doing a show about it and yada, yada, yada. But during the Ben Roethlisberger era was when I became more locked in. It just coincidentally, it lined up where I was at life where, okay, all right, I'm going to watch games more and be more intently focused. So Ben Roethlisberger, during that duration of his career, allowed me to see championships as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. You know what I mean? I didn't see the dynasty Steelers of the 70s. Didn't have that luxury. I wasn't afforded that. But I did see the Ben Roethlisberger era. He allowed me to see 3 championships and almost 2, almost 3. It allowed me to see my Pittsburgh Steelers in the Super Bowl 3 times. 2 rings, 1 loss. So he's always going to have a special place. However, there's always a time when it's time to let go. And I think the Pittsburgh Steelers completely botched that situation. They draft Mason Rudolph, and Mason Rudolph perhaps at the time, maybe he's a succession plan, but from what we all saw, it didn't appear to be that Mason Rudolph was really going to get an opportunity. They barely even wanted to put him in the game if Ben Roethlisberger went down. We just didn't go about it the right way, whether that means we held on to Ben too long or we didn't aggressively go after a would-be projected franchise quarterback. And that's just the situation, man. Left us into a situation where you virtually forced Ben Roethlisberger to retire, right? You kind of coax him to do that, kind of like, look, man, it's been a career. You kind of get him to do that, and then you had nothing behind him. Like, you literally was in a situation where you had to sign, no disrespect, Mitchell Trubisky as your would-be starting veteran, and you draft Kenny Pickett. And I think history would show us that that draft class wasn't the best draft class in terms of the guys who went early or who went in the first 2 rounds. None of those guys have really panned out unless I'm missing one. Y'all fact check me. But none of those guys have really made noise in the league. You know, did Malik Willis get a fair shake in Tennessee? I don't know. I mean, it seems like they went and got Will Levis and right after that, and it was kind of like, okay. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, now he's no longer there. I think, where is he at? In Green Bay? We're not going to really see his Green Bay, right? We're not going to really see much opportunity from him with Jordan Love. And yeah, the guys like Desmond Ritter. Is Desmond still in the league? I think so, but I just don't remember. Guys like Ritter didn't pan out. Guys like Sam Howell didn't pan out. It's just, it was not a great draft class for quarterbacks. Y'all, was Brock Purdy in that class? Ritter is a free agency. Okay. He's a free agent. He's going to be in free agency. So was Brock Purdy in that class? And the only reason why I'm asking that question, guys, you never know. He was. Okay. Very last pick. So he was Mr. Irrelevant in that class. I just couldn't remember what year he got drafted. You never know, because I saw so many people saying, see, we could have took Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was the last pick of the draft. So clearly nobody expected him. No team expected him to do what he was able to do when he was successful. Last year, I'm not going to beat him up so much. He had a lot of injuries. But again, Brock Purdy made me into a believer. I thought in the first year or 2 of his career, he was more of a systems guy. Made the right throws. They made easy throws for him, guys wide open. But I can honestly say, over the duration of what I've seen in his career, he makes some nice throws as well. I don't think you can be a bum and just be a systems quarterback. I think you still need a little skill to do that, right? So he's turned out pretty okay. Probably has turned out to be the better quarterback in that draft. But my point being, and let's get back to the point. The Steelers were in a position where they were forced to take the highest projected QB in a bad quarterback class, and they took a shot with Kenny Pickett, who very quickly turned into Kenneth Pickett. And even before that, there was, Duck Hodges. No disrespect to Duck Hodges, but again, undrafted guy. And then Duck and Rudolph. I don't know if that sounds like a Christmas special or what. You got a Duck and a Rudolph. And the quarterback situation has been horrible. Horrible. And even with that said, listen, I don't have all of the answers, folks. I don't. I promise you I don't. I don't know what we could have done in the draft in all of those years. Should we have traded up to go get some? I don't know. I'm just saying what they were trying to do just did not work. It's been nothing but Band-Aids and Kenny Pickett. You get Russell Wilson in there. You expecting Russell Wilson to be your guy, 36 years old. What I'm saying is, tail end of his career. Whether he can play well or not, you're not building a franchise around a 36-year-old QB. You bring him in. Kenneth Pickett is upset. He demands to be traded. You trade him, and then you're able to get Justin Fields, a young guy that still needs to prove himself. Both of these guys you get for no money, but guess what? They're only under contract for 1 year. So the Steelers are right back in the worst quarterback situation again. Still, as we sit here today, we don't know which guy is going to sign. We don't know if either one of those guys will sign. Remember, everyone is saying that the expectation is we would like to. One of the other We do not know if that's going to happen. It is very possible that the Steelers don't come to any type of agreement with both Fields or Wilson. Then what do you do? And guess what's happening? I'm telling y'all, this is the worst time of the year for me as a Steelers fan. I'm going to say this, and I hope it doesn't offend anybody. But these are the times of year when I don't often like Steelers fans. Let me explain what I'm saying. This is the time of the year where, as a Steelers fan, I cannot stand Steelers fans. Let me explain to you why. Every name possible that can be said is said. Number one, the media is part of that. But number two, there's Steelers fans that you can find that justifies why the Steelers should sign this guy or bring this guy in as quarterback. I've heard it, guys. I've heard it all. Go look online. You'll see it. The Aaron Rodgers, the Sam Donalds, the Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Russell Wilson. I mean, it's a no-brainer. People saying that. And then, of course, there's Justin Fields. Oh, let me tell you about the one I saw today. The Steelers are going to draft Shedeur Sanders. Trading for what's his name? Trevor Lawrence. All of this stuff, but Trevor Lawrence had to shoot it down. But it's so many fans that are in favor of a lot of these names, and I'm like, listen, I'm going to say this again, and I'm going to come to the chat, see what y'all think. Guys, this is the hardest thing for us to deal with right now as Steelers fans. We have to be willing to allow this team to really rebuild. And to me, right now, rebuild means one of two things from the quarterback position. Go with the 26-year-old quarterback. I think he's going to be 26 by the time the season starts. Go with the 26-year-old quarterback that you believe. Doesn't matter what we think here in Steelers Nation. I'm talking to the organization. The 26-year-old quarterback that you believe has potential. How do I know that's the truth? You said it 1,000 times. You brought him in. You let him play 6 games, even though Russell was hurt. You won with him. He had a record of 4-2. You, Steelers organization, believe that he has upside. If that is the case, see if he can be your future. Give him the 2-year deal and let him prove it. That's option 1. Option 1B is you're going to have to do whatever you have to do to draft one of the higher projected quarterbacks. Or you're going to have to take a shot at the dart kid, one of these guys that you think will be there on day 2. Those are the only options. Let me explain to you good people why I say that. The Steelers need to break away from the normal routine of let's just plug and play with the old guy. No. The NFL, and I know I said this last week, but like I said, guys, it's heavily weighing on my head, man, and we don't have nothing else to talk about until free agency next week. If you look at the NFL, man, just look around the league. It is a young franchise quarterbacks league. It is. That's what it is right now. And I say that as well, along with youth, is they can do more things. A lot of these guys have some type of mobility. A lot of these guys, you don't consider them just pure pocket passers. Now, Jared Goff is not necessarily a guy that you think is going to take off on you, but I'm saying, he's still young. He can still move. Now, he's more of a pocket guy, I guess you would say. But the rest of these dudes, man, they're young. The Steelers have to go that route. Yes, some people are going to say, well, they tried with Kenny Pickett, but you got to keep trying. I hate to say it as a Steelers fan because that ain't our way. We're not used to mediocre rosters and potential losing. We're not used to that. But it's time. It is time. It is time to rebuild. You cannot continue to add these older quarterbacks that their deal is going to be 2 or 3 years, and you still are looking for a future later. If you are in a QB search right now, Steeler Nation, Steeler organization, you have to continue to try your hand with the young guys and hope it doesn't take too long for you to find the guy. Like I said, I've said this previously, I'm going to say it again. I would prefer the Steelers in this year of 2025 to re-sign Justin Fields, give him a 2-year deal. Hey, we would love for you to be our long-term option. We just got to see you do it on a regular basis. But this is where our head is at. We like your upside. We want to see if you can do this long term. If so, we're going to restructure this deal. We're going to extend you. We're going to give you the money you deserve. And then you still could draft one of these later round guys. But that's what it's going to take. Youth at the quarterback position. You should now be in the mindset of finding the next future franchise quarterback. If these Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm telling y'all right now, do anything other than that, I am going to be very pissed off. And I will be making content expressing how upset I am with the organization. Come on, man. Aaron Rodgers, stop. And to my fellow Steeler fans, why do y'all keep thinking that these guys are just going to come in and they're going to be all world for us? Why? They botched it, man. He completely botched the situation. It is both depressing and sickening because here we are. It's March 4th, 2025, and right now, us Steeler Nation alum, diehard fans, Steeler faithful, we have no idea who the Steelers quarterback is even projected to be to start the 2025 season. That is upsetting. We are further behind than you guys can even imagine. And again, this is not a pass, but I go back to saying what I said to you guys at the beginning of last season and the season before that. I know we're tired of the one and dones in the playoffs. I know we're tired of Tomlin not having, winning records and all of that. I know you're tired. I know you are. However, calm but until we have a franchise quarterback, it ain't much we can really expect in terms of long playoff run, potential championship game, potential Super Bowl win. I don't think none of us should be thinking any of that until we have a bona fide franchise quarterback or the new quarterback. Let's say it's Justin Fields. Let's say it's a drafted guy. Early on, he's balling out of control. A Mahomes in his second season type of guy. Now, if we see that, our expectations can change. Let me give you an example. CJ Stroud's rookie season. If we get a rookie quarterback, or if Justin Fields in his second season with the Steelers, if he comes back, goes on, he's having a season like that, yeah, it's more than fair for us to expect a deeper run in the playoffs. Look like, this kid is balling. But if that doesn't happen, I don't think we can expect much until we have a pure franchise guy. Round of applause, man, to Renegade Dre. Round of applause anyway. Thank you for the Wonder Bread. Renegade Dre says, Mike Tomlin is a DEI hire. Well, I'm going to answer that with just one simple response. So what? And just playing into your narrative, if that was true, you date back to when he got hired. So at that time, there needed to be a DEI hire. So, okay, what else you got? What else you got? Antoine Hill, man, round of applause, man. I appreciate the Wonder Bread. Round of applause to the good brother. He says, you don't think Justin is coming back? I don't know. I think he wants to come back, but I don't know. I think if the deal is right, he'll be back. But again, we don't know what the Steelers, we keep hearing reports that there's debate in-house about which QB to keep. And then one day you hear reports saying, it's leaning towards Wilson. And then the latest report I saw is, I think Adam Shefty said, he really thinks the idea is for them to sign Fields and they expect that to be done this week. I don't know. I can't call this one, man. Brother Man says, why would Fields want to play for us since nobody has faith in him? At least get behind him so we can see if he is a good fit for us or not. Definitely understand your sentiment, Brother Man, but you know me, I don't speak in absolutes if I don't know for a fact, who said nobody had faith in him. I understand where you're going with it. I'm just saying I can't rightfully comment on that because I don't know if they have faith in him or not. Some people will say, well, look at last year. Yeah, well, last year they told us all along from the gate that Russell Wilson was going to be the starter. That was their intention. Mike Tomlin, I've even heard other coaches say this as well. He's one of those people who says that, an injury shouldn't take your spot. He's always said that. So they gave Russell Wilson the opportunity, and we have to admit, Russell Wilson took the offense to another level for about 5 games or so, 5 or 6 game stretch. Pushing the ball downfield, producing more points, running game got going. It did, right? Not saying that Justin wouldn't have got better. I'm just saying that was the situation. Russell was the intended starter. Injury kept him from starting. Fields came in. But it's not to say that they don't have faith in him. I would have no way of knowing that. Kenya, you said it all, man. Y'all go look at Kenya's statement about DEI. But whatever, man. This is the world we live in right now. Brother Man says, what fans want and what the Steelers actually do are 2 different things. You are absolutely correct there, Brother Man. You are absolutely correct. What else y'all got? Rajan says, Justin wants to come back, but wants to be a starter, guaranteed. Yeah, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him one bit. I don't blame Justin Fields one bit. Listen, last year you brought both of us in. You let the guy that I idolize and model my game after be the starter. I get it. Even after I gave us a 4-2 record, okay, I get it. But if I come back this time and y'all are saying publicly that y'all want to sign one or the other, if I sign, then I best to be the starter. Meaning that there's no competition. I'm coming into camp as the starter, and somebody would have to literally take the job. I agree with him 100% on that. Brother Man says, stop only going with fans since we do not have the answers, and it's frustrating listening to all this garbage and madness. I don't know. I don't know if that's a statement to me or you're talking in general. If you can clarify that a little bit, and I'll comment on it, whether that's a direct comment to me or you just saying it in general. Kev So Far says, isn't it reported that Fields is leading over Russell Wilson in right now? Yeah, and started it right now. That's the latest report I saw. It's been crazy. We've seen the ping pong match, but that was the latest thing I saw, that apparently Fields is leading. So we'll see, man. And like I said, I told you guys, I would prefer it to be Fields and the Steelers just go in that direction. And like I said, they want to draft a younger guy as well, bring another veteran in, to back up Fields. I'm cool with all of that. I really want us to get into breaking out of that monotony of just being, we're just going to do the Steeler way and try to plug and play. No. Oh, man. Walter Worthy, man. Thank you, brother. That ain't Wonder Bread right there. That's right there. That's let me see. That's the equivalent of I call that a loaf of bread. Round of applause to the good brother Walter, man. Appreciate the donation, man. He says, in my honest opinion, the Steelers don't know how to rebuild. Woo, you cooking. It's great as a fan to root for a team with a winning mentality, but it's also a double-edged sword when you might have to take some L's to actually get better. Prideful. Woo, Walter, round of applause. You cooking. You cooking. You're right. Because the Steelers, and listen, rightfully so, I'm not going to say it's wrong, but their mentality is we're in a win now at all costs. I get it. Because I think I've even heard the coaching staff and maybe Tomlin even say they referred it to reloading, not rebuilding. I get it. But even if you're going to reload, you got to come with the heavy artillery. You can't just, load up with bird shots. Nah, you got to bring some 50 mags or something, man. Like, yeah, that is an excellent point, Walter, man. That's an excellent point, my brother. Brother man says the header messed me up when you had botched. That's all. I do support you, but thought it was missing something. Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion. I think many of you guys would agree. They botched it. Just my opinion. I can't say it's factual, but I'm talking about from the opinion of what we've seen produced. They botched the quarterback position. They did. There was no succession plan, no real succession plan following Ben Roethlisberger. And they put themselves in this situation. Now, again, I'm not saying the Steelers should have done this, and I'm not saying should have taken this player or that player, but my whole point is seeing how Ozzie Newsome jumped back into the first round to take Lamar Jackson. Now, I get it. Hindsight is always 20/20, but I'm just saying. They saw opportunity, and they was like, he's still on the board. That might be something. And mind you, totally different offensive style than Joe Flacco. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Steelers didn't handle it like that. They completely, they botched the situation, man. Just word choice. Just word choice. Cab So Fun said, not botched. They fumbled. Yeah, man. They terrible, man. Terrible. Yeah, man. They just terrible. What else y'all got, man? I'll spend a few more minutes in here. We ain't got nothing else to talk about, man. We had 40 minutes. Hold on, still elite, still elite. Y'all throwing that Wonder Bread out there tonight, man. I appreciate y'all. Round of applause. Man, Antoine Hill as well. Let's go ahead and throw yours out there. Thank you, my brother, for the Wonder Bread. Still Elite says, they've also botched wide receivers lately, since probably Juju. Interesting point. Fair point. Fair point. Fair point. George Pickens was a hit, but George Pickens, you know, from a mental standpoint, hasn't fully locked in yet. But that's a fair point. If somebody wanted to make that point, can't argue with that. Still Elite. Antoine Hill says the Steelers care more about being relevant instead of becoming a dynasty. They are the Lakers before the Luka trade. Perhaps. And then I see Brother Man said, don't go that far. But I understand what you're trying to say. And again, guys, you know, we all are just giving our opinions. You know, none of us know for a fact. We're just speaking with passion. I do think they care about winning, but again, man, the relevant point, yes. And I've made that point several times when we talk about Mike Tomlin and, you know, fan bases, certain segments of the fan base wanting him fired and all that. It's hard to do that from a business standpoint, guys, because like it or not, the Steelers have been relevant for 21 years, 18 of those being Mike Tomlin. It's a business at the end of the day. So again, that is your answer, opinion, but I think that's probably the answer as to why you don't see a firing. You know, outside of the fact that the Steelers don't really do that to head coaches, but Art Rooney said it himself, you know, and the other Rooney, the brother even said, yeah, you know, if you look across the NFL, we've done very well in terms of the winning percent. And there you have it. That proves your point right there. Let's see, a couple more. Sonny, you wildin'. I'm gonna let some of y'all beef with Sonny if y'all fit the description. Sonny said Claypool was a hit. He was just light-skinned. That's classic right there. That's classic. Hold on. Somebody else had a comment I wanted to read. Black Thanos says, how much of the Steelers not having a succession plan is Ben's fault? Yeah. Ben got to wear some of that on his shoulders now. The way he showed his butt when they drafted Rudolph. I mean, man, Ben, you ain't had to say none of that publicly, brother. But you're right. You're right. You are right. Renegade Dre, appreciate it, man. Got more Wonder Bread from you. Thank you so much, brother. Black Thanos, Wonder Bread. Thank you, brother. Appreciate y'all, man. Renegade says, I don't know what's worse, Tomlin's coaching or Bronny James in the NBA. This organization is absolute joke. Man, how are you still a fan, man? If you calling the organization a joke, I feel your pain though. But yeah, but again, guys, you know, we all have opinions. My opinion is different, man. I think Mike Tomlin is a great football coach. Yes, I said great. You know, like I said, I think the problem is just Tomlin's philosophy, right? Those are two different things. Tomlin's current philosophy may just not work in today's NFL, and that's it. But to me, that does not take away from who he has been and who he actually is as a coach. I think two things can be, you know, happen at the same time. You could be a good coach and your philosophy has worn its welcome. That's my opinion. But, you know, for anybody who disagrees and thinks that Tomlin is a bad coach, you know, I just, you know, if he's a bad coach, what do you call the bad coaches? You know, looking at his resume. But again, I'm not here to debate that. It's been 18 years, guys. Nobody, I don't think anybody could be upset with a new look, but Steelers are happy with him, and this is just what we got to deal with. Still a lead. Thank you, man. Wonder Bread. Yeah. He says, we had a chance to get Lamar and Jalen Hurts, but Ben's ego wouldn't allow a future replacement. Very possible. And again, that's an educated guess, a good one, because we saw how he acted towards Mason Rudolph. We saw that with our own eyes. We don't have to say we need proof. We saw it. So I'm with you. I'm with you. Man, happy birthday, Renegade. Said he'll be 26 on Monday. Happy early birthday to you, man. Wow, 26. That was a nice year for the boy. What else y'all got? Give me one or two more, man. Oh, man. Y'all calling Ben all kinds of names. Yo, Victor said Patrick Mahomes visited the Steelers as a rookie in 2017, but Ben, and I'm not going to repeat that because this is YouTube, can't say certain words, didn't want him there. Wow. Let me ask y'all this. I'm going to ask this just to a few of y'all. I'm not going to say it because, again, it'll get flagged, but y'all go look at Victory Asher's comment in that name that he's calling in place of Roethlisberger. I want to ask y'all this really quick before we go. How many of you guys really believe that about Ben Roethlisberger? Seriously. How many of y'all really believe there was some foul play with the ladies? And if you really believe that or didn't, did it make it tougher for you to root for the team? Just wondering. Because you remember that happened early on. If I'm not mistaken. No, I think it was after the Super Bowl, the second one. Or was it? I don't remember. But y'all remember the allegations, and I'm just going to leave it at that. How many of you guys really believe that it did or didn't happen? And I'm just going to allow a few of y'all to answer, and then we're going to get out of here. So as we prepare to wrap up, guys, like I said, next week, free agency. If it's on Monday, I believe the tampering period begins, or, legal tampering, if you will, I think begins on Friday. There's some people in the world that are saying that they expect Ben Roethlisberger, they expect the Steelers to sign a QB this week to not have to deal with free agency, and made a good point. I think Shefty said, great point. It'll be harder to woo or bring in offensive weapons if you had your plan to do that. They don't even know who their QB is. Good point. So we'll see what happens before free agency. If something does happen, I will definitely come back and do an independent video, and we'll talk about the signing of said quarterback. And there you have it. There you have it. But what else y'all got? Let me see what some of y'all says. My man, Why Diggy, man, appreciate you, good brother. He says, just want to say much love to everyone here, man. Much love to you as well. What y'all got? Victory says it was before the second Super Bowl. That's why he didn't get the Super Bowl MVP. So did y'all root for him in that Super Bowl win? Kenya says, I couldn't care less because as Sim knows, my ledger ain't clean. Kenya, we ain't do that though. As an Aries brethren, and I know how Aries brethrens, how they do it in their younger life and their single life. And hey, you still, well, to my knowledge, you still single. So, I know how we get down, but we ain't had them type of allegations. But point taken. Brother man says something happened, but complete details weren't given, nor updates, so I'm not sure. Yeah, that's a good way to approach it. Dre says women try, I don't want to generalize them. Let's just say they try to get money off big name athletes all the time, so that's a possibility too. Innocent until proven guilty. Definitely agree with that sentiment. Who else? Really quick. Brother Man says, I met Ben and he is cool, just different. Believe that. Oh, Monday is the legal tampering period. Okay, thank y'all for correcting me on that. Anybody else got any comments on that? He wasn't charged, so who knows? Yeah, Dominic, I'm with you, man. I'm definitely one of those prove me guilty. You know what I mean? And I give everybody a fair chance until it's proven. Unless it's something blatant, where the evidence doesn't lie. Reminds me of a time, man. I'll tell y'all this quick story. Hold on. Kenya says, Sim, you have to remember I grew up. Yeah. Yeah. Man, one of these days, me and Kenya gonna tell some stories, man. Quick story, man, as far as the evidence don't lie. I'll tell y'all this really quick story before we get out of here. I know who you were talking about. Look, Raja, I know who you talking about. At least he's hoping that's who you talking about. Let's say that. Listen, innocent until proven guilty, man, unless the evidence is too hard to go against. When I was one time, here since I've been in PA, I had jury duty. And me being crazy, I wanted to get selected. Got selected, ended up getting on the trial. They ended up making me the foreman. I don't know why, but they was like, we want him to be the foreman. Cool. It was a situation where it was a young man that was accused for breaking into a car, right? Evidence was all over the place. We had one lady in there was like, oh, I just can't if it was my son. And I said, ma'am, with all due respect, we can't do that. The judge told us we cannot do that. You can't be personal, right? Long story short, evidence was a little shaky. It was hearsay. She say, he say, she say. However, what was found in the vehicle was a phone with selfies of said young man. And that sold the deal. Nobody could actively identify him as the guy who did it. But that evidence was pretty powerful that there's a cell phone in the stolen vehicle and you have thousands of selfies in that phone. So it was fairly easy for us to say guilty. You see what I mean? Details matter sometimes. But all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. I don't know how we was able to produce 53 minutes of content, but we did. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully we have more to talk about next week. Hopefully the legal tampering period will provide something for us to talk about on Tuesday. If anything happens between now and then that's still related, that's important, look out for an independent video of me talking about that. Maybe streamed, maybe pre-recorded. But before I go, y'all know the routine, man. If you haven't already, if you enjoyed what you saw tonight, or if you just enjoy the content in general, please hit the like button. Y'all have no idea how much that helps tremendously. Hit that like button. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. And of course, turn on your notifications so you know when videos are up and running. Y'all always know I'm going to wish you guys a couple things before I sign off. Guys, please be safe. There's a lot of craziness going on in the world right now. Please be safe. Stay healthy. God bless. Good night. Like always, I thank each and every one of you all for tuning in. And I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.